Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video tutorial. This would be bot number 26 from Dubious positions and how to attack them. This would be a central cannon versus a screenhouse defense bot. And again, I would like to express my gratitude to Master Xiangqi and Grandmaster Xiangqi for allowing me to make this video based on their work. So without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon. And again, as in the previous bot, red would push the chariot across the river since black had played p7 plus 1. And black would go for a screenhouse defense. Now in this bot, red would choose to develop his left horse as a proper horse, which is also considered to be the orthodox opening. It has also grown to become a major opening system of its own. With this move, red would want to develop this chariot as a rank chariot, so that it will be central cannon with file and rank chariot against black. This is a very popular opening since the 1990s. And because red had played h8 plus 7 to develop the left horse as a proper horse, black will usually play p3 plus 1 to slow down or hinder the development of red's horses. This would be the double-headed snake pawns formation. So the opening system is basically defined. So it will be red's central cannon with file and rank chariot versus black's greenhouse defense with double-headed snake pawns. This is a very major opening system which I have introduced in the other opening videos. So red develops the left chariot as a rank chariot, and this is a common tactic to try to dislodge the red chariot, which will usually retreat back to the riverbank. Black solidifies his defense, and red will try to start trading pawns to allow for development of his horses. In this board, black would accept the trade of pawns. This is a relative concise and fast, quicker method of play. Another counter would be to play c2 plus 1, and red will offer another trade of pawns. Now, usually black will counter in this way. If he played p3 plus 1, it would lead to a very complicated situation. Because red can play h7 plus 6, his horse would now be in trouble, and red will have the initiative because black's formation will now be in disarray. c8 plus 2 is usually played, and red will retreat his cannon. He will be prepared to play c8 equals to 7. This will force black to open up his defense, although this would be a rather standoffish situation, but red would have a slight initiative. And this is another common line. But in this board, black would accept the trade of pawns. And it is usually common for black to try to move his horse to the riverbank. Red will usually counter with p7 plus 1, and another option would be to play r9 equals to 4 to pin the cannon. Black could also play a4 plus 5, and black would still be in contention, and this is still a very slightly drawish but very tricky position. So far, all these moves are considered to be orthodox. So in the major line, black accepts the trade of pawns, and this would be the dubious move that was given. And this would be the dubious move that was given in this board. Now the sound move in this situation should have been to play c8 equals to 7. So r9 equals to 4, protecting the horse. Counter threat, threatening the elephant, counter threat, and black can take his time to slowly resist any incoming attacks by red. So the sound move would have been c8 equals 7, but in today's board, c8 equals to 6, which would appear to be an okay move, but this will actually give red many opportunities to exploit. So, when faced with c8 equals to 6, red will counter by offering a trade of cannons, which is also the title of today's board. Now, this is a very powerful and brilliant move by red, because once the cannon is traded away, it would not matter if black chose to accept or refuse. His formation will now become in a disarray, and red would have a significant advantage. There are two variations. The first will be accepting this trade, and the second will be c6 equals to 7. So let us go to the first variation, whereby we shall examine what would happen if black accepted the trade. After trading, red's formation is very stable. Black, on the other hand, has a very awkward looking position. Red can up his defenses very quickly, and his defenses will be very hard for red to crack in a short time. h3 plus 4, and this would be a brilliant move by red, because now red will immediately exploit one of the inherent weaknesses in this board. Now, usually black will counter with c8, r8 plus 7. Now, red should not capture the cannon, otherwise red will immediately threaten to capture the horse, forcing the cannon to protect, attacking, more defense, still attacking. So you can see 1, 2, 3 pieces attacking this black horse, protected by only the cannon and the chariot. So black would have to make this move out of desperation. He cannot play r8 plus 1, otherwise red would offer his chariot as a sacrifice. A brilliant check, followed by the angler horse checkmate. So that is why black should not capture the horse. Instead, he can only move his king to safety, but in doing so, red will now gain back lost material and be prepared to attack. There's the lack of one advisor would also spell lots of trouble for black. So black lost an advisor. He will not be able to put up with red's attack much longer. Red would be prepared to play h4 plus 3, threaten to capture the chariot, while at the same time going for the I'll show you over here. Okay, let's say for example, red, let's say black made any move, for example developing the chariot. Red will play h4 plus 3, threatening to capture the chariot and also go for the checkmate. So that is why k5 equals to 6 to capture the cannon is not viable. Instead, black will usually counter with r8 plus 7. Red will go ahead, still offer his cannon. Now h3 plus 4, would it be a good idea to move the horse to safety? Black would refuse to budge trading material. Black would up his defenses, and black would now force a trade of material to reduce some pressure. Red's offensive would now be halted, and the momentum of his attack would fail. So that is why after 3 plus 4 is not a good idea, because black will be given a breather. Instead, red should continue to pile pressure with r9 equals to 6. After trading pieces, black's formation was in disarray. He will lose for an extra advisor, and red would have the obvious advantage. Material-wise, 2 chariots, 1 cannon, 1 horse. 2 chariots, 1 cannon, 1 horse. But black's lack of advisor would be a major issue. So let us go to variation B. Over here. Okay. Let's say black refused to trade cannons. Red would now adopt the sandwich house defense formation. This is a natural move to make in this situation. Now, e3 plus 5 will lead to a complicated situation because black would immediately counter with this move. Now, this would appear to be a questionable move because of red's h3 plus 4. So, this is a very, but in fact, this is a brilliant counter. If red did go for h3 plus 4, black will command this very important line. The development of this chariot would be limited to perhaps only this file, or this file. So black's position was slightly passive, but his formation was not in a disarray, and he will still have his chances. Let's say if h8 plus 4, black instead black countered with c2 minus 2. Black would be red would now be prepared to gain material. Let's say if r8 plus 6, red would dislodge the black chariot, offer trade on material, and black would lose material because the horse would now threaten to capture the chariot and also protect the cannon at the same time. So black would have to move this chariot to safety, but in doing so he'll lose material. So version B, h3 plus 4 is a good idea. It would not be a good idea to defend now with e3 plus 5. Black will usually retreat his cannon, try to traverse it to this flank for attack. Now this will lead to a rather complicated situation. Red's best bet at this point would be to capture the cannon, despite black gaining back lost material. This is a straightforward but desirable play. If he had played c8 plus 4, trying to prevent this from happening, c2 goes to 3, and this would be a fork, and red would now be in trouble. h7 minus 5 would not be a good idea either, because again black would target the chariot, and red would now be in trouble because he would now be attacking the cannon. Black would lose tempo. Red would lose tempo in this situation. Finally, if e7 plus 5 were played, after trading material, the two cannons are placed rather awkwardly. Black would now have pinned the horse, and his formation was still stable. Black can be very satisfied with this position. So usually accepting the trade would be the best bet, and counter sacrificing material. And as can be seen, red will make this very powerful move of alpha plus 2. So this would deny the black chariot from developing. Red would slowly up his defenses, and he will have a nice position going on. Okay, he would have red would have occupied the important lines, this allowing for development of black's material. So in the long run, this would be beneficial for red. Now, generally speaking, for this board, let's go back. It would appear to be natural for black to move the cannon to the palace corner to command this file. But in this situation, again, not all, you cannot apply the same technique to all the same to different situations. Now, in this board, because red had the option of c5 to trade away material, black's major offense would be or major defensive or offensive option would be the cannon over here. So by trading away material, since the central cannon will not be able to have a nice attack at the moment, this would be a good idea. And if it would not matter if black accepted or refused to trade material, red would be able to gain a significant positional advantage in this very positional game. So let us review the board from the eyes of black. Central cannon, but proper horses. ranked and file chariot, dislodging, defending, trading pawns, accepting is okay. Another possibility is c2 plus 1, that equals to 3. Another option would be to play r9 equals to 4, but in this board trade, this would be the dubious move in this situation. c5 plus 4, red's brilliant counter, trading material. Variation A, accepting the trade, and red will counter with this very brilliant move, threatening the chariot, forcing it away, because if it did not, black would lose an advisor and the red pieces will be attacking. r9 equals to 6, counter capture, and after trading material, black's formation would be in a disarray and red would have the advantage. Variation B, c6 equals to 7, and refusing, countering, trading material, but as can be seen, black's material is now rather awkward. Red would have a nice position going to the mid game, and black will have the advantage. So it would appear, although c6 was a 7, or c5 because it would not viable. If we were to retract one more move, instead of c8 equals 6, a better move would be c8 equals to 7. So, thank you for watching this video. If you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.